And then Cindy, when we're allowed, you can just come over and we can, actually, I'll just come to your room, your magical room. We don't need. Okay, I have hit record. We are here, last day of our 5-day pop, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Whew, we know we're realizing as we learn that 5 days is a lot to do as much of this intense learning. So if your brain is popping, that's okay. Take a breath. We are going to go over everything we covered, and we are going to hopefully give you small little ways to use the pops in an intentional way and layer them versus trying to take everything that we've done in 5 days and just throw it in your life, because that won't work. It's too many things. Too many.
It's like a tossed salad that you'll never eat.
Yes. Shall we start with our
meditating without
meditating? Yeah.
Oh,
Tammy said, I wrote down a bunch of the main points in a journal. Yes, great idea. Great idea.
Okay, so let's start with meditating without meditating, just because it's a good way to begin. So put your feet down on the ground. I'm really beginning to like this very cozy heart rug that my son picked out. So if you have something soft below you, it does really feel good. Okay, so feel the ground below you. Take a deep breath in, say out loud or in your mind, I release all thoughts. And then begin to think of empty. Another empty. And another. Put your hand to your heart. Come back.
Here we are.
And there's my fear.
Is that our sign?
That's our sign. Okay, so did you want me to begin just talking about the signs?
I guess so. Yes. We should, to clarify, we were going to make our last day about boundaries and just talking about no, and that no is a full sentence. But Cindy and I were talking, and signs just keep coming back. It comes in our call. It's coming up for me when I'm not here on the call, and same with Cindy. And so did I call you? I think I texted you. I texted Cindy yesterday because after listening to her intuition chat in the Facebook group, so make sure you get back to that one if you haven't. I did the process of going into the void. Really, I just used meditating without meditating a little deeper, though, a little longer, until I got to nothing, and asked for my sign and snowflake. That's just what popped up. And I did exactly what Cindy said I might do, and I judged it. I was like, well, hold on a second, a snowflake, it's Christmas. So am I forcing this? Because I'm going to see I got a snowflake on my pillow right behind me, you know. So am I trying to force a sign and trying to see a sign? And Susie said, no, 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 because I was in a void. I wasn't in this room. I wasn't at my Christmas tree. I was deep into meditation when snowflake hit. So I accepted that. And then I did ask a question that I wanted an answer to. Like, I knew the answer, but I thought, oh, just again, playing. It's playful. Signs can be so playful. So asked a question, and then that very next day, it was Jack's birthday, and our niece called us to say happy birthday, and she was wearing a snowflake sweater. Like the entire sweater was a snowflake. But again, I questioned it. I was like, well, it's Christmas. So of course she's wearing a snowflake sweater. And I was like, hold on, but she could also be wearing a Santa sweater or a Christmas tree. But I left it. And then yesterday morning, right before we got on the call, I was setting up in the kitchen, and right where I put my computer were two little plastic snowflakes from, I don't know, I think my kids maybe got it in a Kinder Surprise egg. So I was like, okay, I think I believe that signs, if you don't listen, they just keep coming until you go, okay, yeah, okay, that's a sign. So Cindy and I thought we'd talk a little bit more about the signs, and also whether you know when to put a time limit on it or when to just let it be.
Mhm. Well, the truth of the matter is that you always actually know the answer to everything. You have an inner knowing to every single thing that you want the answer to. We have this inside knowing to almost all knowledge, which is mind blowing. I could know Portuguese, I could know French, I could know chemistry, I could know everything, which is humbling and amazing and astonishing. We block ourselves to an incredible amount because we believe that we can't know very much. So that's fact one. um, then so then when it goes to the fact that you said I already knew the answer, but I was playing, which is good. This will go further for you because as you begin to know these things, I would say, here's my heater. I would say that when it comes to these things, when people come to see me with questions, with things that they want, they already also know the answer to most things, but they need affirmations from somebody else. So oftentimes when somebody comes to me, they said, well, I feel much lighter because I just needed to hear it from somebody else as well. So that's why when you're having your sign, sometimes you doubt it because you'll say, well, it could have been there, because we don't want to track. We've been so trained to believe in logic rather than something else that we will just dismiss it because we are fact-based, science-based world. And it's why people will often say, well, I like science, I need science, because that makes us feel better. Whereas truthfully, feeling is where we are meant to sit. Does it feel good? Does it feel right? Sit with it, sit with it. That is your vagus nerve. Sit with it. So the sign there for you is like, you are completely right. And so these are how they're like, oh, she's finally listening to the signs. Like that's what they're like, yes. So the signs will then come with you when you were like, I think I saw a snowflake. They're like, yes, snowflake, my gosh. And then because for you, they're wanting to do it as quickly as possible, they're going to give you a snowflake right now because they can show it to you as many times as possible because it's the Christmas season. So they're like, okay, we're going to show her in any which way. We can show her on somebody's shirt. We can show her here. We can show her outside. We can show her whatever way. And she is going to see it. So that's how it works. And as I explained to Jen yesterday, it's our intuition's like a muscle that we haven't used for a really, really long time, and signs are the weights. And so we need them to gain this muscle that we've been that's a bit lazy in our brain. And so eventually we don't need the signs anymore, because we'll just have this inner knowing. And so you'll ask the question and you'll be like, oh yes, I'm solid in my knowing. I don't need it anymore, because that intuition's so strong that you won't be needing these weights anymore, if that makes sense. For as many things, because you'll trust your gut so much that you'll be like, I know it, I know it, I know it, I know it. And so suddenly they'll be like, oh, she doesn't need these snowflake signs anymore. She just trusts herself so much in the feeling she's good. But until then, she needs these weights to keep her solid, solid, solid. And so that is how you use the signs. Does that make sense? So, and I know it's how we are as humans, is to double guess it and go. And that's why I was saying the other day, so once you get the sign, so for you it was, this is a snowflake, you then don't search for the snowflake. So if you go into this void space and you get snowflake, and you're kind of like, is it a snowflake? You might guess it for a little bit, but then when you're like, yes, it's a snowflake, you don't then search around like,
that would be so easy.
where are you, snowflake? Or somebody else said that it might be a bird, that their sign's a bird. So if you ask the question and say, okay, I'm looking for a sign, this is what, sorry, now I'm very aware of my heater. I'm looking for a sign, what is it? Please show me a bird. You don't then, for the next 12 hours, look around for your bird, because you'll then be sourcing it. They will intentionally put one in front of you.
And I love that you said, because I kind of was like, well, okay, so I've got the answer clearly, very clearly, snowflakes kept coming up. Do I go, one thing I wanted to know was, do I go back into meditating to if I have more questions? I was like, I wanted to know, do I need a different sign for the different questions? And you were like, no, you sit with snowflake now. That is your thing. And eventually, like you were saying, maybe later down the road, I feel like I need to have another sign. It can be, but I don't need to change the sign. There's the logic of me overthinking it. Oh, I have a new question. Can I still use snowflake? Yes, snowflake is the sign. I don't need to change it to something else.
Yeah, I think Tammy. Did Tammy have a question too? I can't see it. Did Tammy have a question?
Tammy, let's see. Just no, that was from earlier that she had written down in the chat. I see that she was just talking about earlier. Oh, privately she sent you something. So I can't read it. So you have to
read it after.
Unless you want to put it into the full chat, Tammy, or you guys could chat later. Either way, but if you put it into everyone, then I can share, or you guys can. I
will look to see after my phone. I have had trouble because I'm on this on my phone. I will look to read it after.
I have children's. Hold on a sec. I gotta go mute my children. I'll let you keep talking.
So yeah, there's many. What I've discovered for me is that there's many. I call myself unconventional when it comes to signs, because of the unconventional intuitive or psychic, because there are many people that will say these are the steps and the processes that you have to go to in order to find your sign. And the more unconventional I am when it comes to these things, the more easily they flow in for me, because I find that nowadays there seems to be this like, you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. And the more I I find with each, sometimes even with each person, that when you follow this feeling for yourself, more will come in, and especially if you are like, so for Jen, somebody who does really appreciate logic, it will be harder because you do really value that logical side. So I get that for somebody like Jen and lots of people like that, that you really want to embrace this other side, but you also really like the logical side. So then it's going to take time to sit with it. I really think, Jen, your sign came through really, really fast.
I think I believe in both very equally. Like I
Yeah.
think I've always believed in magic and my own intuition. I take
Mhm.
that as science too, a different kind of
Oh yeah.
science.
Yeah.
But I love like, well, what's the research behind it? Like I do, I love that piece too. And there's not always an answer for the research there, although more and more it
No,
is
there is.
coming forth and
Yeah.
people are starting to realize that there really is science behind
There's a
all
lot.
of this, and you can really prove things quite easily the more you delve into it. But
Yeah.
I agree, especially so my husband's even more. Brad, I mean Cindy knows Brad.
Yeah.
He is I want a formula, and there needs to be an equation, and there needs to be an answer. And the best is that when Cindy was first learning Reiki, I sent Brad to Cindy first. I didn't even go. I sent Brad. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I think he came out of Reiki. I didn't even know what Reiki was. I was like, "Oh, you go, babe. Like Cindy's trying it out and we're playing around." And I think I said, "How'd it go?" And he goes, "I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it," because he did have an amazing experience, but it didn't make sense. And so his brain was like, it exploded, I think, a little bit. And now he sits with us in Cindy's soul soups and
Yep.
sessions and does Reiki. Like that's what he's getting for Christmas. And hey, my accountant husband is
Yep.
getting it.
But that's, yeah. So that's what I do. I feel like the signs is one of the trickiest things for me to try to explain,
Mhm.
simply because I am not logical. And so because my not logical blank brain, right, I can't explain it the way of it would work for somebody who is a logical brain, right? And so that's what I found. The more you can just think about it and let it go, it does come in. It does come in easier. There was a time I had a more logical brain, I think. So, but I have I have determined that you don't need to have the same sign for a long time. But sitting and really, for you right now, having the same sign for a little while and using that same sign. But as Jen was saying, that you can, what did you say yesterday? Over, like over trying to use your sign.
Oh yeah, you can manic manifest. You can is that what you're thinking when I was saying you can
Yeah,
force it
yeah,
by obsessing over it, and then it just
yeah,
kind of takes away the power of it because you're manic about it, and then you're like, "Oh, well that's a sign and that's a sign and that's a sign." You can
yeah,
force an answer.
yeah,
And I think you become manic about it
yes,
when you know the answer is not the answer you want. Like if I want it to be a yes, but internally I know it's a no,
yes,
you can force a sign and
yeah,
try and control it. And I know I did that earlier in the year in January when I was making a big career shift. I wanted the answer to be the answer, so I forced the sign to show up, and in the end it was not the right answer for me, but I forced the sign. I'm going to see it, I'm going to see it. Oh, that's a sign. Oh, that song, oh, there was two of them, that's a sign. Like I yeah, you can
yeah,
manic create
yeah.
it. So checking in, are you like obsessive about it, or you just hanging out and snowflakes are popping up, which is what's
Yeah.
happening for me right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I think the best thing is you put it,
Release.
you put it out, and then you just carry on with your day. The
Mm-hmm.
more you're searching for things, you're forcing. Power versus force is the biggest thing I say to people. Where if you are intentionally just going like, oh, I gotta, um, that is a force.
Mhm.
And as soon as you just say like, it's fine, it's all there, it will work itself out. Even during stressful times, these things will come in. So that is that there's a lot more detail to it, but that's a little bit about it.
And I know the last thing that we talked about too was putting a time frame on it versus letting
Oh
it
yeah,
just be. And
yeah.
I think you were saying you can put a time frame on it if the question has more of a
If the
need.
question
Is
has
that
more of
correct?
a need to it, so if you're just saying, like I've given the example in my evening time, where if you're really wanting something that is very, very important, or if you're my boyfriend example, which is very important. So if you're saying like, could you please show me a sign if I need to leave this relationship, or if I need to leave this job, your inner knowing already knows the answer to that, but you're just wanting a solid sign. Then you're saying, can you please show me the sign in 12 hours? Otherwise, your ego gets in the way and says, well, maybe that sign that I just saw, yesterday, or that, you don't have. So giving yourself this 12-hour window gives that time frame, that that sign. If you don't see the sign in that 12 hours, and you know your answer. So that's that. If you're just saying like, I would like to see my sign, then you, or whatever, whatever the question is, you can be very relaxed about it. And if it's just a casual question that you're just asking, like, do I like soup or so? I can't even think what the answers are.
I feel like one could be, for me, it's constantly, because I've changed my career and I've really overhauled my life in the last 5 years, and I'm a totally different person. I often just say, like, I don't even say it anymore, but am I on the right path? And I know as I go through the day and as I go through the week, as I see the signs, whatever I'm doing in that moment or whatever thought is in my brain, then the signs coming through going, oh, that thought, like that one's the one, it continues to guide. I use it to guide me without asking a question now. It's like whatever I'm doing in that moment or whatever space I'm in mentally, when the sign shows up, it's like it's confirming that one. Keep going with that thought. Keep going with that decision, whether it was driving to a studio to teach a fitness class, or if it was, I want to text a friend I haven't talked to in a while, and the sign will show up. Okay, so so I now less put time frames on it. It's just continual confirmation.
It's motivating you to be on the same energy, to keep you in that same space.
Yeah, and that one's not snowflakes. Those are things I've worked on earlier, but often numbers. I know too, Cindy and I talk about numbers, having like it be 10-10 or 11-11, or there's so much. I guess I should stop us, because we could go real deep into this, couldn't we? I think Cindy and I both agree that everybody in this group, that is the work to focus on right now, is your sign. If you don't take anything else from this, because I know there's so much, that is a great focus, because we're getting signs that that's what this group is about right now, and that's kind of what's coming through for us.
And focusing in on signs, it allows you actually to slow down. It allows you to work on your breath. It allows you, which you have these practices, it allows you to take time for yourself and really to be patient when a sign comes through, whether it is a number. As I was saying, how I'm seeing numbers right now, it allows you to take stock of what's going on for you. So when I see a number, I can go, okay, where am I? What's going on? And so it gives you that, where they're just saying to you, I see you. Am I too busy? What's happening? My heater. So it just gives you those things for yourself. So if you haven't been paying attention to them before, it gets you realigned. So
Mhm.
that's with the breath work, that's with the meditating without meditating, and that's with the signs. So even
Mhm.
if those little few things can help you, and then to begin to write it up.
Yes. Oh, so that is the fifth pop of your day. The fifth pop. That's a lot of pop in 5 days, you guys. So one thing, well, the five main points that we have covered. The first day, Cindy talked about, are you a yes? Are you a no? So figuring out either quick answers with this activity or deeper answers with sitting in the yes and sitting in the no. Did I explain that right,
Yeah.
Cindy? So that was
Mhm.
day one. Day two was love notes. So making a list of people that fill your bucket, putting that list somewhere in your house that you see it. That act alone of having your list visible, you're good. You're going to see it and you can use it how it serves you versus forcing that to. Just have your list. It's just your little reminder to send a picture or a selfie or even just a heart, even just a heart emoji to your humans. And then our third day was breath work, our root lock, so locking in. This is all Cindy's. I'm like, I'm doing it right now. And then taking some breaths, and you can connect that into your day. Then there is purging your space. Going through, you could have a bag on the back of the door that your family knows that's where things can go, or just going through and intentionally asking yourself if this needs to be in your space, um, and creating little pockets of space that are yours that bring joy or bring calm in your day. And then signs. So that's a lot. That's like 5 courses almost on their own. You could do a course on each. So how do you bring them in? Cindy just explained one. When you see your signs, take a minute, pause, use a piece of the breath work that Cindy taught us. That's a great way. And layer these habits into your life. So what is something you already do in your day? And then choose one of these pops to put in there with it. So while you're making your coffee, if coffee is important in your life, while you are turning on the coffee maker, attach breath to that. You could do your root lock there, and you could breathe while the coffee's being made. Or it could be your shower. In your shower, you could do breath work there as well. Or what were the other ones? Let's see. You could do your sign. I go quite deep into the shower, and you could be asking for your sign in your shower. But picking a habit you already do and you consistently do in the day, and then picking a pop to put with it, really, really helps. Oh, bye, Jessie. Thanks for being here. She's got to go. So yeah, that's how you that's a very simple way to layer a habit, is to pick something you already do. And one other thing is association. I learned this with Brendan Burchard too, that if you pick something you do, like doorways, pick a doorway. So every time you walk through a doorway, you pause and take a breath. You're going to walk through a lot of doorways. So you can connect doorways with breath. And you're not going to do it every time, and you might not have time to fully stop, but doorways and breath could be an association of picking something you do. Or when you get in the car, something that you do often, you can pick a visualization and connect it to a pop, and just pick one, pick breath work. That would be a really great one to do. Whew.
All right.
So layer, go slow with yourselves.
Being very mindful of time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should go, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, and we're probably running out of time. It's after 7,
Yeah.
as everybody's running away. So just so you know, Cindy and I will be asking for your feedback on this course, and we do acknowledge that it's a lot. So in the new year, there'll be a lot. It'll be spread out more, not a daily call kind of thing, but we are working on another pop course that we will be asking for your feedback, and hopefully have you join us there too. So to end, oh my goodness, I was going to make us stand up. So to end our pop, I'll do my little piece of movement because you know I'm a mover. I just thought I liked this one because I think for 2020, I'm down here for a minute. For 2020, it has been quite a year. And so we sometimes want to release energy and release emotion that we're holding on to this pandemic, this year. So I'm going to unplug myself and I'm just going to show you a really nice, easy way. This is the end of brain dance. If we were actually doing the brain dance, this is the final one to get yourself a little bit off balance. And we are just, if you want to do it with me, you can right now, and then you have the benefit of it. But if you're sitting and cozy, I get it. In my cozy sweats today. So it's just getting yourself grounded, standing, taking a deep breath in and raising your arms and then dropping and coming back up and raising your arms and taking any emotions that you've been holding on to that you want to release and throwing them away and coming back up. And that you get the point. I know we're short for time, but you can do movement like that, up and drop. And we're going to do a little bit of that in PIO class today at noon. But you can even do it. Why don't we just do it quickly sitting up right now? Grab something you want to release. Breathe in through your body. Bring it up. And let it go. Breath work. It's all breath work. It's all movement and breath work. That's all you got to do is move and breathe. All right.
Thank
You guys
you.
go for your day. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.